posted that piece that you wrote about your soul on Facebook. There's lots of people coming back saying, oh wow, Chris, that's amazing. Really good. I thought it was amazing too. It's made me sit and reflect a little bit. Really good, really thought-provoking. So, let's see what you'd like to do this afternoon. We could just do some skill work. On your reading skills. We've got that booklet that I prepared, which was all information about tortoises. We could do a little bit more Latin vocab. Or we could do a poem. I've got a poem that we could use. Or we could do something else of your choice. So we could do some reading skill work, some Latin vocab, a poem, or something else. A poem, okay. Let me just find it. So this poem is by an author. You've done one of her poems before. I think we did it with Sean actually. The poem is called The Journey.
Yeah.
The Journey, yeah. And it's by Mary Oliver. So just for practice, we'll see how your pointing goes. The poem is called The J. Good. O-U-R-N-E and all the way for the Y. Y, The Journey, and it's by Mary. Let's just have a look and see if we can do a few letters self-holding. Go for the O. O, that's a T. O for Oliver. O, and then the L. Tell yourself I don't need to do that. I need that hand for pointing. Go for the L. Oh, that one's P. L. I, and then all the way down. B. Up for the E. And then to the R. Straight to the R. Oliver. Mary Oliver. And I'll just give you a little bit of an introduction to the poem. The poem looks at the themes of struggle and strength, determination. So let's think about that as we're reading the poem. The struggle, the themes of what? Of the themes of S, T, R, U, G, G, L, E, the themes of struggle, and strength, determination. There, let's have a listen then. Well, yeah, listen. You can follow while I read it, and then we'll see what you think. So you follow as I read, or you point and I'll read. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Last two lines. Mend my, touch it, life. Mend my life. Each voice, touch it, cried. Ooh. Oh, there's more. We'll read it all and then we'll come back and look at some parts. Come on then. didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road, keep looking, full of fallen branches and stones. Go on. But little by little, as you left their voices behind. It's a long one, this, isn't it? Come on. The stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognised as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do. Go on. Determined to save the only life you could save. That's quite deep, isn't it? Oh, always a bit of an impulse. So, have you any ideas or any thoughts about what the poem is about or what it means to you? Anything? Tea. Oh, we've got a few impulses here. Do you want to carry on or do you want to stop? T O C A. Okay. R O R Y O and N. You want to carry on. Okay, that's good. Two, it was just your body was looking as if you didn't want to, but really you did. That's fine. Okay, so let's just look at this poem again. Yeah, let's break it down a little bit because it is a long old poem. But the beginning, one day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, and though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt the old tug at your ankles, mend my voice. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. So, what's all that about? S, it is. A, B, O, after the O, all the way to the U if you want it. U. Yeah, I thought you did. It's about D, E, C, I, D, I, N. It's about deciding. That's good. It's about deciding. Deciding. T, two, T, two, C, H, A, very nice, C-H-A. Would you like to point with this pencil and give that hand something different to do instead of going in your mouth? And I'll hold this one, C-H-A, go on. to the A again. Do it with the pencil. A, N, G, E. It's about deciding to change. T, H, E, V. It's about deciding to change the. This is good. I like it. I like it. Go. The. O. L. D. The old. Is that M or L? The O. Ooh. Ooh. Don't be impulsive. The old. It's easier if we're here. More accurate when you sit here, Chris. Yeah? Should we just try and work on your tolerance for staying here for about another 10 minutes? That'd be good. I think so. It's about deciding to change the. Now you've got me all confused. I'm not sure what you did next. Come on, go from there. The. O. L. D. The old. L. Oh yes. I. F and. Yeah, that's good. It's about deciding to change the old life. Or your old life. You know, it says one day you finally knew what you had to do. Even though people kept voices or you heard these voices giving you the bad advice, you knew what you had to do. You made the decision. I'm going to just read what it says here. It says, the journey tells of the emotional and mental turmoil someone endured to end one unhealthy life and begin anew in a different world. In the first lines of the piece, the speaker addresses you. The second person narration means that the reader is included in the poem. They're part of the story and therefore are asked to consider themselves in the same situation as the intended listener. So you have to imagine, or I'm imagining, oh, maybe I need to change my life. You know, it's like someone suddenly deciding, oh my God, I'm so unfit, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to start running or doing something different. It's a hard decision to make, isn't it? Because there's all sorts of reasons why you wouldn't want to make that change. What do you think about that? I, T, I. It is E, A, S, I, E. It is easier, T, O, to. It is easier to. F, I. You're doing so well. To F, I. Let's see if we can work on these impulses. You tell yourself that hand's going to go there. Oh look, and when you put that hand there, the other one just came out of your mouth and the noise all stopped. So that's the plan today. When this happens, you're going to just tell yourself, I'm going to put my hand on the table. My left hand on the table, my right hand will sort itself out. It is easier to F, I, N, D to find R, E, A, S, O, N, S, reasons, N, O, T, not, T O. It is easier. Oh. To find, or I put both hands there, reasons not to, I think you put do, I'm not sure, go from the to, not to, I think you did do, D, O, do, S, O, M, E, T, H, I, N, oh, after the N, G, something, your hand's going a bit like that, just wait a minute, not to do, something, no, reset, try again, use that hand, N, E and W. It is easier to find reasons not to do something new. I agree with you there often. It's easier to think, oh, I'll just carry on as I am. That's fine. It's a lot easier just to carry on than it is to make the decision, oh God, well, I need to do things differently. Yeah. So, let's see what happens next. What did it say? Voices follow this person, trying to get them to return to the past and focus on them instead. But the listener does not give in. They continue to move forward and brave the uneven path that is set out before them. Any comment? Any comment? D, E, C, I, D, I, N, G, deciding, A, N, E, W, deciding a new word, P, L, A, that's good, that's good, P-L, deciding a new P-L-A, plan, I, is, T, H, E, is the, H, A, R, D, P, A, R, T, I like that. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Deciding a, I mean, I'm just going to put in an extra word there, upon a new plan is the hard part. Any more? A and D and C O M I T I N G and committing. Just so you know, in committing it's a double T, and committing, come on, T O 2 D O I I, to do it, E, V, E, N, even, H, A, R, D, even, H, A, R, D, always finish your word, go on. I'm committing to do it, even, H, A, R, D, E, R, yes, and committing to do it even harder, yes, so if you do want to sort of make changes in your life, you almost have to come up with like a plan of action. And sometimes you can sit and say, oh yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and you come up with your plan, and that's quite hard. But then even harder is actually saying, okay, I'm really going to do it, and then committing to do it and sticking to it. I agree. Let's see what happens in this poem. Speaker states that it was already late enough. Where are we? The listener had waited enough time paying attention to the voices. Now there's no time to spare in moving into the new world. Once the old voice has dissipated, you're able to hear a new voice. And it took a little while to realise that this was your own. There, see, it said little, you left their voices behind. And there we are. Where does it say there was a new voice? Find it. That's the line. Very good. And there was a new voice which you slowly recognised as your own. So instead of following all these other voices, you realise that you are now able to make your own decisions. And then it summarises, you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. Whose life are they talking about there? Y, O, U, your, O, W, N, your own. That's right, your own. Let's have a look. Just to summarise, we'll have a look at some examples of some of the poetic devices used in this poem. Let's have a look. Quickly scan through. We're going to try and find some alliteration. Alliteration where they use the same letters. Have a look here. See if you can find some alliteration on this page. Where would it be? Have a quick scan. Fingers. Foundations. Very nicely done. Fingers and foundation. The winged pride with its stiff fingers at the very foundations through their melancholy. I like that. Ooh. Can you find any other alliterations with F's on this page? Have a look and see. Have a quick scan. And any more? Oh, very good. The road full of fallen. That's it. Yeah, there's some alliteration used again. One other technique, just a poetic technique that is used in this poem, and I don't know if we've really talked about this much. It's called ENJAMBMENT, ENJAMBMENT. And it occurs when a line is cut off before its natural stopping point. It forces you down to the next line and the next one quickly. And you have to move forward in order to comfortably resolve a phrase or sentence. So, for example, let's have a look. even at the very start of the poem. One day you finally knew, and then you have to go to the next line too, what you had to do. And began, and you have to keep going, though the voices around you, and you're like, oh, what's happening next? Kept shouting. And then a new line, their bad advice. So that's enjambment. It sort of almost makes you, oh gosh, even though it's a new line, whereas traditionally in poems you'd kind of stop and pause and then look for a rhyme. This one just forces you to, I need to know what's happening next. So that technique is called, it was a long word, see if you can remember it. ENJAMB. Oh, you're clever, you know. Come on. ENJAMBMENT. And do you think that it's a good technique to use? Just a quick, do you like it? Did you like the poem? Did you like the style it was written in? It was kind of all like prose really, wasn't it? What do you think? Did you like it? J O, after the O, Y E D. I enjoyed. Oh, I enjoyed. Are you going to say it, or are you going to say something about a particular part that you enjoyed or a particular technique? Let's just finish it off. So, I enjoyed. T H E V S T Y S T Y. Come on. L E. Oh goodness me! I enjoyed the style of the poem. So this just. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. Yeah, I liked it. We'll just finish reading it through again. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognised as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. There. You almost read it in one breath. I felt a kind of an urgency about it. That's what I thought there was a kind of. There was a determination and an urgency in the poem to me. So I quite like that. Right, thank you. You did ever so well. We'll go and do a little bit of something different now. We'll just do a bit of skill work.